I'm Allegra Jordan, an executive coach, and I'm here with a few ideas about how to think about some of the things you've just seen regarding the Capitol. Either if you were in it, or you had a loved one who was trapped there, or you were just horrified by what you saw. There's some ideas that I want to offer you from my work with service members who've been heavily deployed and their families, and also with government officials who have faced a lot of challenging experiences. I'd like to offer two ideas first. The first is that pain is not a competition. My pain impacts me, your pain impacts you. It's how it changes you that matters, not that somebody else had more pain than someone else. I learned this from a friend who had been enslaved for 8 years with the Lord's Resistance Army. She had been asked by the United Nations to testify about the pain of Africa's children. At that time, I was going through a divorce. It was horrible for me, but I apologized to her. Oh, my pain is not what your pain is. And she said, stop. My pain will change me just like your pain will change you. It's not a competition. And so I give that idea to you. You get your pain, it changes you. And we'd like to heal a little bit of it. The second is to share with you some context for what becomes a stress disorder. In America, we hear a lot about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, but only 7 to 11% of Americans actually develop a disorder. Most people have stressful experiences and grow from it. Now, I don't know where you will be. If you will be in that 7 to 11%, you should seek a therapist to help you with it if it becomes a real problem. But overall, it's not something that's common in the population. Even in the service member population, 11 to 20% of people who are deployed develop PTSD. Most people do not. So in this situation, we have a horrific event. It's a one-time event. And here are 3 things that might help you with it. The first is called EMDR. Now, this is a therapeutic intervention. It doesn't require any medicines. You don't even have to talk. It stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It's a long word, but simply it means this. You have a memory that's got a high charge with it. You want to take that charge away. And scientists have discovered that something as simple as bilateral stimulation, another big word, can help you with it. The person who discovered EMDR was thinking about a terrible thought walking through a park, and she was snapping on either side of her head. And she noticed that she felt better on the other side of the park, and she decided to investigate it and became the field of EMDR. In the notes for this video, I'll share a couple links to where you can learn more about this process. But it's wonderful if you've had a one-time overwhelming event that is traumatic. You might consider EMDR as a way to take the charge away from that event. There are 2 other things. One is writing the letter of apology that you will not get. If you were in the Capitol trapped, or if you had a loved one in the Capitol trapped, you deserve an apology. And you probably will not get it from the people who owe you that apology. But guess what? Even if they could give you the apology, they would probably do it incorrectly. Only you know what the real harm was that was done to you by this. And when you write a letter of apology that you'll never receive, you iterate between, was that what I need an apology for, or was it something else? So just keep iterating it. If the first time you write that letter of apology that you'll never get to yourself, it doesn't land well, keep trying, because at some point you will clarify to yourself what the pain was, and you'll give yourself a sense of witnessing and a sense of what should have been done instead and what needs to be done going forward. So this is a very good logic test for you. Even though sometimes it feels kind of silly. I did it with myself regarding a difficult situation. The first time I got it wrong, the second time I got it wrong, but the third time I landed on what really felt good, and that clarity was gave me my life back regarding that particular interruption in my life. Finally, there's an idea of a role play that can help you both witness your pain and get very specific on what kind of solutions that you need. Now, this comes from the book, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der It is the Bible of dealing with traumatic situations. And one thing it says is, what works for you is what works for you. You just keep trying things until you find something that works. Don't give up. But here's an idea of a role play. Take a few things from your desk and create a situation that you are in, and then have an intervention by an authority figure that does the right thing and gives you what you need. So I'm going to role play this for the Capitol. So I have a few things at my desk. I have 2 pens, and I have my Dr. Fauci baseball card. And so we're going to have, this will be me. Help, help, I'm in the Capitol, and I'm really afraid, and I'm a bad guy. I'm going to make you afraid. Help, help. Hey, stop that. Go away. You can't be mean to my friend. Hi, friend. I'm sorry that you were scared. If I had been there, I wouldn't have let this happen to you. I care about you, and your feelings really matter, and your safety really matters. You're safe now, and I'm not going to let that happen to you ever again. I really care about you. So it's a simple role play, but what we've found through science is that when we have a witness to what happened, yes, it wasn't secret what happened. The Capitol was stormed, but how you experienced, nobody really knows what you experienced. And having yourself cared for and listened to, having an adult guarantor, even if you have to make up that adult guarantor, order your thoughts and help you resume a place of safety and care, can be very healing. Try it. You don't have to even leave your room to do that. I care what happens to our country, and certainly to our civil servants who were in the Capitol that day, and certainly to all those who love them. Try a few of these. In the next video, we'll talk about beauty and why Fyodor Dostoevsky, a famous Russian writer who had his experiences with trauma, oh, did he? Why he said beauty would save us. That's in the next video.